Last time on Whispers of the Ancestors, we discovered that something strange was happening in the visions of the witch doctor of the Dwarshan clan. He had seen or started to see this vision of people who would become champions of the Dwarshan tribes. These visions pointed to our four heroes who are here represented. And he basically called them out and stood them up and said and asked them if they accepted the challenge. And the challenge was and is to journey into the past by use of a very rare technique called dream walking. And the heroes, the champions, who had only really just arrived at the council, all agreed that they would do what they could to find the children and to discover what was going on with the fertility rates of the Dwarshan. Why have they not been able to breed properly? Where have these children gone and who took them? These questions and many others are the ones that our heroes, our champions, will be attempting to answer. However, on the way to the council, before all of this happened, each, or even at the council, each champion or champion to be had a challenge of their own to accomplish. And so we had four scenes with different challenges for each person. And they actually did reasonably well in their scenes. Inti of the Amaryllis Sprig, she met with a bard of great renown named the Voice of the Sea, and he basically said that he wasn't sure about her place in the Dwarshan tribes because she is not a Dwarshan. She has only been brought up by them. And so he attempted to sway her with song, but that did not work. She overcame the enchantments therein, and he accepted her as part of the Dwarshan tribes. Regered Badate, as resilient as the bush willow, had a quarter ask for her hand. He challenged her to physical combat and was doing reasonably well until Regered managed to pin him and make him submit. But she did agree at the end of the bout to have dinner with the man at some point in the following week. Argris Elisod, as resilient as the bush willow, was challenged to prove his Dwarshan name. Another Dwarshan basically challenged him to a duel of swords, though it was not a duel with weapons. It was a duel with the earth, and he was challenged to assist some local plant life to grow, and he actually managed to, with the knowledge of how water nourishes flora, he managed to have a positive effect on the plant life, and so he was accepted as well. And finally, Belorma, the glaive, or boy as she likes to be known, was sighted ascending the mountain by one of the scouts of the Dwarshan tribes. And he gave her a mini quest to go and find a certain item in a certain place. But this was a ruse, because as all Dwarshan know, when that sort of challenge is given, there is always a catch, and he had laid a trap in the form of some sort of creature that was shaped as a map, and tricked boy into picking that map up, and it sort of attached to him and started to suffocate him. But rather than killing him, the Dwarshan scout saw that boy had attacked this thing with his weapon, harming himself or herself, and he found that very, very funny, and in his humor, he promised to lead her to the Dwarshan tribes. Once there, they found each of the champions found a rather awkward scene where lots of disagreements were being aired in the council. Lots of shouting, lots of anger. Most of this was due to the chief not taking action as soon as he could once he heard about children going missing in the other clans. His defense was that he was waiting for word from the goddesses, and because his previous witch doctor failed him in giving him some sort of sign, he butchered her in front of a crowd, and has had her replaced with this man. And so the clans, with the assistance of the chief's ex-wife, have calmed down enough. And she was angry too, and she wanted justice, but she didn't want complete anarchy. She didn't want things to degenerate even further, and so she actually assisted the council to settle down a little bit, to calm. And at that point, that was when these visions started to happen to the witch doctor. And while these visions were playing, while he was stating what he saw and how he understood it, there was a sign from the heavens themselves, from the goddesses, it is presumed. A great explosion of fire was seen in the sky, and it was this brilliance of pink and yellow fire, and a big yellow fireball plummeting towards the earth, and that was there for all to see. And so we've had a lot of pretty crazy things happen. Our characters also know that Browan has and Rito have sent scouts on weird scouting paths, and all of these troops have been spotted where they generally don't go, and so coming here, all of the tribes had to sort of be very cautious. The Rito patrols um, are very dangerous. And so we've got a lot of issues ahead of us. But it is now extremely early in the morning. It is between 2 and 3 a.m. The characters have had a fitful sleep, if any. If they did drink at all with the rest of the Dwarshan, the drink is still having some effect. And what they awaken to is just this ruckus. It is really, really strange. There's these sounds coming from out of the huts, and they're just not normal. And so all of the characters exit their huts one by one. The only person that hasn't right now is Inti, who seems to be still in a slumber. But the other characters exit their tents or huts, and what they see is dark. For one, there are torches that have been attached to poles and staked around the Dwarshan tents and huts in this area. So it is low light at best, flickering torches, and the dying embers of the massive fire from last night are still there. But there's a different light apart from all of these normal lights and the lights of the sky. There's a different light, and that light is coming from the lake on top of Artemis's Peak, where they now camp. And this light is this phosphorescent glow, and it is still illuminating in low light. It's not illuminating in bright light, but it is clearly visible because everything else is fairly dark. And the colors of this phosphorescence are of particular note. So in the center of the pond, we can see these humanoid Dwarshan figures. They seem to be taking off their clothes and playing in the water in the middle of the night. They seem to be splashing and having a great time. But the water is the color of a slightly, very, very slightly paler scarlet. It's not quite scarlet, but it's just a little bit paler than scarlet. And this color is sort of almost emanating from the center of the lake. And it sort of just ebbs into darkness at the edges of the lake, except for two locations. The north of the lake and the southwest of the lake, where the color starts to bleed into darkness, it instead bleeds into this dark purple color. And so this phosphorescent glow is clearly visible. There's Dwarshan men taking off their clothes, splashing in the water. And as these characters get up, wipe the sleep out of their eyes, try to decipher what's going on, they can, as they get closer, they can also see that there are Dwarshan women, what look like Dwarshan women, with no tops on. And the Dwarshan men are coming up to them and fondling them and are having what seems to be a fantastic time. So this is the scene that you are presented with. So let's go to Chepe first, Who is your character, Chepe, and what is your character doing, having seen this and experienced this?
We saw them starting to drown, correct?
You see people both above and beyond the water. The shouting is them beckoning other people to come and join them in the water. You can make checks of whatever kind you like, because it does not seem normal at all, especially for this time of year.
Well, if there's no immediate danger, it is unusual. The most that he would do is look at the history, see if he could think of anything in his mind of people of.
All right, I'll ask you.
You wouldn't do it.
How close to the lake do you think your hut was?
It's a strange sight. He'd go 20 feet, 5 feet from it, just kind of looking out. Like, hey, what are you guys doing?
So the response that you get, these Dwarshan men all turn around and they're like, they've got this rapturous look on their faces. And the sound of their voice is strained. And it's strained in the sense that maybe of physical exertion, or maybe just in the throes of ecstasy. And these men turn around and they say, "This is great. I've never experienced feelings like this. Come in the water. This is fantastic. Come in the water." And you're seeing these beautiful Dwarshan women, breasts hanging out, gorgeous. And they're combing their luscious hair. And the men are just like wrapping themselves up in the hair and just like, "Oh, this feels fantastic. The best feeling I've ever had." As this happens, and as you are relatively close to the water, you hear a flutter from your left-hand side, and something sort of flies out of the bushes. There's not many bushes around. It's very scarce. It's just sort of flies out all of a sudden and just startles you a little bit, and you realize that it was an owl, and it hoots as it flies past you.
There's nothing about tonight that has been normal. I look around, see if there's anyone else actually looking at the spectacle.
There's other men and women around, and they're sort of like gathering on the sides of the lake, and some of them are going in and wanting to experience this, and some of them are very cautious, like pointing at various things in the water. Because you are relatively close, I'm going to ask you please to make me a charisma saving throw.
Sure. Let's see what his charisma saving throw. Okay. 14.
14. Okay. So you aren't compelled But the water somehow looks enticing to you. It's again, I'm not going to compel you because you succeeded on your saving throw, but something about it's nice and unusual at the same time.
He'd be a bit unnerved. Like, this has creepy written all over it. A freaking owl that he hasn't seen up here in the mountains this entire time has just jumped out of the bushes. Women in the water, people are jumping in. It says no written all over it. He doesn't know what's going on. He's just kind of...
The other thing is that you don't recognize any of the women that are in the water. You don't recognize one of them. Not one. You can recognize women that are near the water, around the edges, but not one that is in the water.
He'll just be shouting out to them saying, hey, it's dangerous at this time of night in this season to be in the water.
Okay, so I'll pause your scene there as you call out to them. So, boy, you come out of your hut. How close to this lake?
Boy wasn't in a hut.
Oh, where was she?
Boy camped out under the stars, and remember, she isolated herself away from the group because she felt very uncomfortable by everybody.
As she stands, then, from her isolation, you'll stand, and all of a sudden, there's this shadow, this small shadow that skitters in front of you, and you jump for a second, startled, but you just see that it's a rat that seems to have run from you. You have no idea where, just skitters off. And you're faced with this scenario as described.
Yeah, she'd be interested-ish. It's not the first time that she would have been around a hedonistic moment. Even she'd been told that she'd had to be a part of these type of things. Being a slave and a prize to many a rich person. She's not a terrible-looking young woman, but she also happened to be able to fight really good. So she was well sought after as a warrior and as one of the gladiators. And so seeing the hedonism doesn't bother her, but she does walk up to where she doesn't remember his name. She just knows that he's one of the only people that she knows, quotation fingers, here. And she does walk up to Chepe's character. I don't personally remember the name, and neither does she, because she met him for 2 minutes. You know what I mean? So, she just kind of walks up and goes, and taps you on the shoulder. Shouldn't they be doing that in closed doors?
I don't
a little hedonistic. Is that normal for you people?
No. At least not at all. And I don't recognize any of those women either.
Really?
No.
Not at all?
Not a bit.
Are you going to look at the women that he's referring to, boy?
Well, she is looking into the into the water. You know what I mean, into the pond or lake or whatever you want to call it. So she definitely sees them. 100%.
I need you also please to make me a charisma saving throw.
Yep. This is not going to be good for her. 10.
10. All right. So, as you look to see whether maybe you might recognize any of them from last night's festival, something draws you, there's this feeling that you have, sense of urgency and a sense of euphoria that pulls you into the water. You take the shortest route towards one of these women that you possibly can, plunging directly into the water. Agris, she just asked you what was going on. She's looked into the water, and all of a sudden, she's just almost half running. Not quite a dash, but plowing into the water as quickly as she can to get, and is heading directly towards one of these Dwarshan women.
Hey, get it back over here.
It's so interesting. I must.
So you can say
having so much fun.
Your will, this effect that's there isn't changing what you can say, right? But the feeling that you get is that of euphoria and a sense of just like urgency to get to this woman that you can see. So you can say whatever you want.
But I can't stop myself.
No, you can't stop yourself from walking.
Mm-hmm. No problem. And but that'd be very similar. It just looks like so much fun, and I didn't get to partake in the drug. It must have been a drug you took last night. And she is very freely walking up there. She has removed her top as well.
Excellent.
Well, no. She has removed it. She starts going for the buckles on her armor as she walks towards the water.
Okay. I'll pause your scene there.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we continue on here, so Regeared, you have awoken. You've come out of your hut. You see all of this happening. So, how close are you, and what are you doing?
I imagine she'd been semi-close to the lake, like especially if she's waking up to the spectacle and whatnot, and then coming out, like she'd probably one of the first things would be to look towards the source of the commotion, and just kind of screw up her face and just like, what the hell? And then look around just to, in similar fashion as the others have done. And she spots out Agris. Then she marched over him, just like, do you know what's going on?
Just before you answer that question, not just yet. As you look around trying to figure out what's happening, you see the Dwarshan man that asked for your hand yesterday, and he is in the water as we speak. He is in the water, his shirt is off, he is just like reveling in what's going on, and this is out of character for a man who just asked another woman, yourself, to be his wife. He is your direct suitor, and usually they stick around for at least a little while trying to pursue the woman of their intention. So this seems extra unusual to you.
All right. At least what's going through my head for her is she'd probably just shocked me, like, I wonder if the others had done something similar, because she probably doesn't see them at night. Whatever their night business is, that's them. And the way he was talking to her during their match, it's like, I think part of her is also kind of like, thank God I'm not. But yeah, she would know. It's just like, okay, he's over it, which I should be okay with, but Hargus, what's going on?
Okay, now you can answer the question.
Women I don't recognize are making the water very appealing to me, and
Okay, when
even
he
more
says
so
that,
for
she'll take
them.
another double take just to see. It's like, does she recognize any of the women?
Okay, now I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Okay. Charisma saving throw. Ooh. Well, here goes a nat, or I just said basic 20.
It's a basic 20.
Bonus it. Ooh, she did terrible. She's 4. Nice, solid 4.
For some reason, one of these women just looks extremely appealing to you. You describe how you just plunge into the water.
Oh, let's see. It's extremely appealing. Is that maybe in the appealing sense of like they're just like there's not even a fight. They clearly need someone to show them. It's like, no, you make them earn their right to have you, okay? And she is like off to their rescue, and I can help these women.
Yeah, you must journey directly the shortest route towards this woman as you can. You can say things, but keep in mind that you find them appealing. But you can control what you're saying more than you can control your movement. Having said all of that, at this point, we may roll for initiative.
Oh,
Dun, 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 dun.
And I just got home now too, so yay!
Oh, that was quick! Wow.
You hoofed it.
6.5 miles. Let's go!
You know,
What's my
I'm
initiative? 20? Let's go!
very impressed.
I roll a nat 20 on my initiative every time. I don't know if there's a feat for that, but I got it.
Oh.
That's great, because I rolled a natural 1 on my initiative.
He's like taken aback by, why is Ra going into the?
Yeah, I'm just like, why is no one listening to me?
I'm listening. I just gotta go.
No, don't go out
Gotta
there.
go see about a thing. Hold on. just hold tight. I'll be right back.
No, keep that on. You're too young for that.
She can do whatever she wants. Ra's like already just bare chested walking in, like she's been that way the whole time, anyways. But like she didn't take off anything. Like she's always just been like skirt pants thing, and that's it. And then her battle gear, maybe armor later on. No, wait, she doesn't need it because she's a barbarian.
Okay.
Oh, anything you can do, I can do better. I can do everything just like you, Mary. 13.
Let's
13
see.
for both of us.
13 with no modifier. 13 with.
So wait, we did sleep, right, Matt?
You have slept, albeit fitfully, yes. So you're still a little bit hazy. I'm not going to give you any negatives per se, as long as you roleplay that you're still waking up and a little bit disoriented, perhaps.
I'm more talking about, do I have hit points? Because
Yes, you do. Yes, you have. You are fully restored.
Okay.
You're just role-playing that you're a bit hazy. Inti, I just need an initiative from you when you are ready. Don't want to rush you.
I'll be right back with my roll and myself on my laptop.
Awesome. No worries.
why can't I do this?
So she'll be right back.
Mimic kicked my butt. Took a whole bunch of hit points off.
Yeah. So as we're just going into this initiative, and Tina's just going to be right back, I would like everyone to obviously you each of your characters has a mind, and I would like you to please tell us what you remember most about the evening before. And what stood out to your character, what they're thinking about, other than the combat, just as a brief segue. So, Chepe, what stood out most for you the night before this has happened?
Argus looks briefly up to the sky for a moment, and he imagines the sun. At least what looks like a sun, a giant fireball cascading over him, fire raining. A sign from Artemis. He remembers, a sign of Hera. He remembers an arrow flying straight past him, flying down onto the ground. A sign of Artemis. The two goddesses responsible for his creation, for his lineage. The two ones revered most by his father had sent a sign to aid. And all of a sudden, weirdness surrounds him again. Takes a breath. Tries to empty his mind, like when he prays to Nephthys.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for that. Boy, as you just, for a split second, see the previous night, what are the things that stick out just most solidly of all?
Certainly for Boy, it would have been that these people actually do know what she's talking about, that she's not crazy, and that this voice has some validity to it. But the thing that concerns her the most is, why is it thinking that it's her mate?
Yep.
And the acceptance that they took to her because of what she told them of Luce is very comforting, though. And she finally feels a little bit accepted, where she's never felt that way in her life.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Regeared, just a brief snapshot of something that stood out for her the night before.
Her close call with her suitor, and mingled just kind of there's a little bit of that fear of just like how close she had come to possibly being defeated, and then like coupled alongside with this being called to do something grand, which seems a little like beyond her. Like, why? Mm-hmm. She's certainly kind of the outcast of her tribe, and so it just seems a little an elevated kind of position. But at the same time, it's like, hey, they're going to give me a job that will take their focus off of what she's not doing for her tribe. She's all for it at the same time.
Okay. So, Inti, would you let us know how you are responding to the scene? You hopefully heard most of it as you exit your hut or wherever you were sleeping. How are you responding to everything that's going on? Hopefully you're ready.
Oh, damn. You're muted, Tina, if you're trying to talk to us.
Maybe she's not ready just yet. Alrighty. Leaves me very awkward.
Yeah, you kind of need to have this answer before you can move on.
I at least need an initiative, yeah. Alright.
Well, I can expand a little
I
bit.
rolled a 16. I know that for
Yeah.
initiative.
Sorry?
No, you got 13.
Tina rolled a 16 for initiative.
She rolled 16, so she'll be going first.
Oh, even better. Yeah, I mean, if you want a little bit more talking, I can fill out time. Another thing that she was very concerned with is why was this dwarf Reaver so aggressive towards her? She just doesn't understand that, and that dirty trick she played on her makes her feel. If he's one of these people, she has that feeling that if he's one of these people, why would and he played a trick on her? What are any of these other Dwarshan going to do? You know what I mean? It's certainly that's another feeling that is certainly coursing through her, and now So now that she has no control over what's going on to her now, yeah, we'll see how this works out for her at the end of this little combat thing. She might just be like, I'll just go back to the slave pits. That shit's way easier.
So it looks like Tina's ready.
Actually,
And I can't hear you. That's fantastic.
It's on my end. I'm here. Okay, so I missed like the last 3 to 5 minutes. What happened?
That's fine.
Quick hit. Last I heard, what's her got boy just walking the water. Then Mary's character just came out and was like, "What's going on?" and is now going to rescue them because they shouldn't be just whoring themselves out like that.
And then
pretty much that's it.
Oh, okay.
She was also drawing.
I was just filling out time by asking them what they remembered about last night, but it's all good. You can respond to the situation.
So my bro, she actually, sorry, I don't know why I said he, Inti, is actually dressed as a man now. A young, looks like a young man. Walking shirtless, trousers, has like a fur jacket on. Other than that, nothing really. Just kind of looks like one of the guys of the Dwarshan. Dresses like a Dwarshan, but obviously there's a little bit of a difference there. Mainly because this person is super skinny compared to most Dwarshan. So this frail little man boy kind of wanders, kind of like whistling, holding a tankard of, not a tankard, but holding like a bottle of something by like the mouth of it with his pinky finger in his palm, or his palm, just kind of carrying it, whistling. It just kind of like stops. Whoa. It just kind of like looks at the scene of all these women like, well, I didn't anticipate this.
All right, so you're looking.
I'll be standing next to the largest group of people.
Okay, so are you looking at these women?
Yes, I am looking at these women.
I would like you please to make me a charisma saving throw, if you would. Oh, she disconnected. All of the issues. Welcome back. So just a charisma saving throw, and then we will resolve your action.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was like, what's happening? Okay. Hold on. Like, for some reason, my internet was like, and I'm not working for you anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Okay. So what did you want me to do? Roll a charisma?
Charisma?
Oh, sorry about that. I assumed. I almost rolled it anyways.
17.
Nice. Okay. So you do not feel any desire to go into the water. You see these people having fun and you see them in this euphoria, but you're not interested. And it is your turn. And I would like you, please, to do whatever it is that you would like to do.
So this young, choosy male, well, at least looks male, kind of, you're not really sure, has like a very androgynousness about this person. Looking at the scene, you said the water was is the water glowing, or was it just crimson?
It is a phosphorescent glow. The center is like a scarlet color, slightly lighter than scarlet, and it gets darker the further towards the edge that it goes.
Well, this apparently is not natural. So my character begins to kind of like thinking, kind of pulls out a pipe and starts packing it as he's kind of like putting all this together, and starts wondering with a arcana if I can decipher what kind of magic this is. Because this is definitely magic. At least in my head, it seems like magic.
Sure, you can make an arcana check.
But I got a 13.
All right.
Very high. It's magical.
Funnily enough,
It's not magical.
you can. So with an arcana check, you know that the glow, you've never seen something of this color. You've seen phosphorescent glow before from different plant life, especially in the snows.
It seems like a natural magic then. Natural as it's from the world.
Okay, a couple of details for you.
Okay, sorry.
You're from high up, right, in the mountains. You're from very cold, snowy areas. This is also very high up, so the climates are very similar. And there's no reason why, like, you've been there all your life, pretty much. You've been brought up there. There's no reason that you can think of that you wouldn't be able to identify pretty much any plants or whatever of this local area. You've lived in this kind of area. So, having said that, this is not a plant that you recognize or a plant color you recognize. Anything that you've witnessed before in the Arctic climes would have been deep underwater, and it would be in the depths of the night when people went fishing. So what would happen is you would bore like a hole in the ice and you would go fishing in the middle of the night because fish aren't expecting it. And there is sometimes a very light blue kind of glow deep underwater. And you can barely see it normally. But this glow is completely different color. It's not deep. It is right in the middle. You can see it. It is up in them. So this is not something that you recognize at all. However, the glow itself does not seem to be magical in origin. It's something in between. You don't think it's a magical effect, but it's certainly not a natural plant that is making it. Nothing that you recognize.
He's holding the pipe, and he holds his finger up like this, and he clicks it once, he clicks it again, clicks, and when he clicks it the third time, like a flick of fire kind of pops out from his hand and plops into the bowl, and he starts puffing away at his pipe now. And he's kind of looking, thinking at what's going on. He kind of looks at everybody else that's like around the water that hasn't gone in yet. He's kind of seeing like what their emotional state is.
Okay.
The looks on their faces.
Most of the people that are by the water are curious. Okay, so that's like 80%, 85% of them are like, oh, what is this? What's going on? Why are these people? But they're curious in a positive way to the water. They're like, oh, maybe we should go in. There's about 10% that's like, that doesn't seem like a good idea. And the rest of them are in the water, and the other 5% would be our party that are.
Is there a shirtless woman person?
Oh, yeah.
that I don't recognize nearby me or like in my vicinity.
In the water, yes, but not on the shore. There's other women. There's plenty of Dwarshan women.
My character takes in a deep inhale. And just like kind of holds it for a second and like makes eye contact with one of them until she's like looking at him. And so I'll just like stare at her until I'm gonna like hold action until she looks at me.
So in the water or outside of the water?
In one of the shirtless women that are like, ooh, come play with us in the water.
Yeah.
But I'm not in the water.
Sure, you make eye contact.
Okay. And I'm gonna hold my action until she looks at me. And then I'm gonna attack her.
Okay, well, she's looking at you. She's about 30.
She does look at me. Okay,
she's about 30 feet away from you in the water.
My character kind of blows out smoke in her direction slowly. He's like, "What are you doing out there?" He says with it's like a very middle ground voice. Like it doesn't have a masculine tenor to it, but it also doesn't have like the tone, the tuniness of a female voice. It's very in the middle.
Okay. Well, what I need from you is an action. Or
I'm not going to attack. I'm just asking first what's going on. But.
Yeah, you're not going to get a response on your turn. So what are you going to do as your action?
I will walk up to the very edge of the water, without touching it. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, you walk up to the edge of the water. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, it is.
Okay. She replies to you. She says, just trying to think. You haven't heard of the underwater caverns? Come, find out. See what they're about. And she'll, wobble her very buxom body, and then she will sort of wade about 10 feet towards you, and all of a sudden her hair shoots out of the water.
Rude.
And attempts to grab a hold of you.
Rude. My character is offended.
So, 1 second. So, I'm going to make an attack throw. Okay. And we've got, that's +4. I'm only at a 12. You misses you? Okay.
My character sidestepped. Boop.
Yep, so her hair swoops out, tries to loop around your leg, and you sort of jump over it, whatever. And she looks at you and she smiles, says, "But it's all you ever desired." That is her turn. The one that Regid is walking towards will sidle up to her. Regid, by this time, you are half of your move. Oh, I'm going to say 3/4 of your movement into the water, so about 20 feet into the water. So I'm going to make, she's going to come up to you and attempt to kiss you.
Oh my goodness, Ra's hands go like up and like, oh, no. I'm here to save you. Like, I'm not like that.
All right.
I don't know what I'm
Well,
like.
you're unable to get away
Bugger.
from her. Her hair sort of encompasses you, right? And she sort of, and you go to turn and walk away, and the hair sort of just flips you back around, and she just straight up kisses you. You are grappled, and she won't let go.
Okay.
You are like connected.
We all
by
make it
your
out.
mouth.
Excellent.
And she is going to drag you underneath the water at this point. Regear disappears underneath the water. Then, so 1 second, I've got to.
How deep? This
Keep
one is
track of
like
what I'm
right now, like up to the waist, up to the shoulders.
You were just under your breasts when she grabbed you.
Okay. Just making sure, because like I feel like in my head and go like she's waiting out there, and like with commotion, she had brought her weapon along, but like with this, she had probably dropped it in this like, what's going on? And going to try and like force her. And it's like, I don't, if it was super deep, I was going like, oh man, there goes my weapon. But cool, shallow enough that she'll be able to retrieve it.
Okay. So Boy was also going out, wasn't she? She was also interested.
She was charmed as well, or whatever you want to say the effect is, yes.
Okay. Cool. So
Oh yeah, this is cool.
okay, so she attempts to wrap her hair around you.
How many of these women do we see, or can't I ascertain that?
A lot. Somewhere
More
around 10.
10? Okay, yeah, okay.
But for the purposes of knowing the encounter, like a little tiny bit of meta, most of them are doing things with other people. For the purposes of the encounter right now, there's one for each of you.
Okay.
Okay, so she will wrap her her hair around you. So you take minimum damage of 4. Take 4 damage as a hair wraps around you.
Okay.
And you are grappled. At this point, she hasn't dragged you under, but you are grappled. Okay. And lastly, one tries to whip out her hair against Argris, who is on the shore. That'll hit. So Argris, you take 9 points of damage, and you are grappled. She does not pull you in at this stage, but you are grappled. Her hair is going 20 feet. She's 20 feet away from you when she grapples you. It is now Regeard's turn. Regeard, you are underneath the water. You are being kissed. And because of this, you begin to suffocate. You can survive a number of rounds equal to your Constitution modifier. Okay? While you are in this hold. If you are here underneath the water for any longer than that, you will be unconscious. So what it feels like to you is that you've just been pulled underwater, yes, but it feels like you've been underwater for about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, when you're starting to lose your breath and wanting to get up to the surface. This is how it feels. Your lungs are empty. What are you doing?
Oh, we're gonna punch her in the face and be like, "Let me up, bitch." Yeah, she'll just make a flat out attack. If she wants to get ungrappled, I guess, and it would be better for her to just do a strength check or an athletics check.
You may make an escape check, which can be athletics or acrobatics.
All right.
But that is your action. Keep in mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, she did 12.
12? Nope.
Yep.
She has you
Again.
wrapped up.
Later, but yep.
And obviously, what's going through your head? Like, it feels like you're drowning.
Well, yeah. So, Ra's been taken under. The initial thought when this woman first planted herself on Ra is just the surprise. Like, wait, what? No. I'm not me. I'm here to help her. And like, especially when she goes underwater, it's like this panic of urgency where she's like kind of groping for like, where's my axe to like bash her with it, but it's like, oh, I let go at some point. Not exactly sure when, but I'm now going to punch her because I don't like how she's on me. I'm in water. I can't breathe. I need to breathe. And so she makes a flailing attempt, misses, and she will try again next time.
All right. Boy, you are grappled, but you are not in the water just yet. You've seen Rakir disappear underneath the waves, though.
Yeah, Torn. So I could attack her, but it wouldn't break the grapple, correct?
The thing is that she's so you're in the water, right? Yeah. So yeah, you can attack her, but it wouldn't break the grapple. That is correct. You can obviously make any sort of checks that you want to make. Anything that's not escape, I will probably allow for free if you want to try and discern what's going on or anything like that. That goes for anyone that's like,
yeah.
What the hell?
I got two. I mean, in my head, I have two choices. She has Sword Burst, so I could cast Sword Burst, as a cantrip, which would hit her. But I think I'd rather be ungrappled from her instead. So yeah, I'll run the grapple check.
All right. So it's acrobatics or athletics.
It's a 5.
No.
I rolled a natural.
All right. You wrap yourself even more firmly in the hair.
All right. Yeah. Wonderful. Now, can I? No, not with that one. I was going to say, can I just try to move backwards? Even with her grappled to me, I don't have any problem with that. I mean, she's quite strong.
Yep. You could. You can make a strength check straight strength check to pull her some distance. It'll be opposed. So you can attempt that. This will be your movement.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's a natural 20.
It's natural 20. Okay.
22 number overall, but yeah, natural 20.
So 22 is the total.
Yeah, 22 is the total.
You move with her 10 feet.
Does that put me at the water's edge, basically?
No.
Okay. Shit. All right, yeah.
You're still in the water.
Want to be so yeah.
Like it's maybe waist high now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Agris.
And this is a sandy beach, correct? I believe.
Sandy? No, not really.
Yeah, copy.
Or is it like a pond where it's like water's edge, shore than water?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lake.
You'd be at the water's edge in order to drag me, correct?
You'd what?
She'd be at the water's edge in order to drag me, or is she farther out into the lake in the...
She's 20 feet away.
That's growing. So which I would be 20 feet away from the lake, so she's at the edge of water then.
Yeah.
Okay. And I can still freely use my movement? I do have to ungrapple before I can do that.
You could move towards her, but you couldn't move away. You could move diagonally-ish without having to check. So towards, or in such a way that you're in a slightly different position diagonally, so that her hair hasn't moved. But if you're trying to move it away, then you would have to either make a strength check to pull her, or an escape check to get out.
Okay. I'm going to run directly at her.
Okay. You may do so.
At this point, he's unsheathing Bakea on his right. And on his left, holding out Helbarua as well. And as soon as I go, because I'm moving 20 feet, and I'm going to use the momentum as I'm running at her, I'm swinging my saber down, trying to go at the base of her hair.
Excellent.
So I can make that as my first attack. Okay.
Yes, you are attacking her hair effectively.
Right. And that's going to be 21.
Oh yeah, you hit her hair. How much damage would you like to do?
We will find out.
100.
That is 4 damage.
4?
Mhm.
Okay.
Hair can take damage? I think you could just
Okay.
cut it.
So you what sort of weapon is this? A sword?
It's a short sword, but it's a saber. It's a cutting implement.
Okay, so a saber. Sorry, you said that. Your saber cuts away a couple of strands. You can see that it didn't quite get halfway through the big, thick loop of hair that wrapped around you, but you think maybe one good solid attack might, like another good solid attack.
Use my bonus action. He's going again and attacking with his short sword. He's attacking with Bakea, his dagger.
All right.
This is a piercing weapon, so for the hair, he's going to try to print it up. So if you've ever seen a barber try to rip off hair, if you've ever seen in any samurai movie where they're cutting off their bone, that's that same motion. Because his one hand is already down with the saber, the other hand's going up like this and moving out.
Okay, so being that this is the case, I'm not giving you advantage on the attack roll, but I am going to, if you hit, I'm going to give you advantage on the damage roll.
Okay. That is... 16.
You hit. You've got advantage on the damage roll.
All right. That's 5.
Sure. Okay. So you slice the rest of the way through through the hair. And you feel the grip around you loosen. You realize that there's a whole bunch more hair. It's not her whole hair that you've chopped off, but the strand that was holding you, this is now loosened, and you are effectively not grappled anymore.
Cut the hairlines! I'll shout, and I'll move 10 feet back, away toward the shore.
Very good. Inti. Having some trouble with the internet. And you are muted. As in, you're muted by you, not by the hangout. On your little dial. No, I think it's actually you.
My thing isn't muted.
Yes.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Weird. Awesome. Okay. Okay. So this bitch is drowning somebody out there, fighting somebody over that way. Somebody over there is getting fucked up. And then this one right in front of me just thought that she would just try to touch me. Okay, listen. My character, his eyes don't ever leave hers. And the look on his face goes from pleasant to deadpan, no emotion. And when he speaks, she feels like a little bit of something resonating inside of her. Let me cast a spell so we can see what it do. Here, it must succeed a wisdom saving throw. So it has to make a 13? No.
Okay.
DC 12, I think it said.
So wisdom?
Yes.
It got a 12.
So, damn. Saved just barely. Anyways, so my character, so she won't feel any real pain. She may feel emotional distress, but she's fine right now. But my character, the words start to resonate, and like anybody who's like around him may feel a sort of like a tremor of like the barrier between the reality that we live in and the realm of magic kind of like shifts and cracks just a second as like he reaches his ethereal arm into it to bind this magic. And as he speaks out of his mind and of his mouth. You are as repugnant as the hairs betwixt my rear cheeks. The sound of your voice is just insulting. And to be frank, you're as beautiful as a shaved bear. Let my words cut into your deepest and most vulnerable depths of your mind. Show me your darkest secrets so that I can explain to you how pathetic you really are. And he'll say this and it'll like how you really are will like echo off in the distance, and he'll just like look at her like, did it work? But like there's like no emotion, but anybody behind him can tell that the emotion, like it wasn't just a normal insult. Like he was like did it hurt? And my character looks at her with like a deadpan glare, hoping the magic is working.
Awesome. That was fun. All right, so we've got the creatures now. The one who is nearby you, Tina, Inti, will attempt to grab a hold of you with her hair. She's rolling very, very badly. So that's not going to hit you. So she's going to come right up and she's going to okay, so you see her full form and it's the same with the one that Argris is with, actually. Because they're out of the water, you can see that their whole bodies aren't the same as their upper bodies. Their lower bodies are squid-like tentacles. And so she's going to attack you twice with 2 different tentacles. No. And that will hit, finally. For 7 points of bludgeoning damage as her feet just like writhe through the water like a paddle steamer.
That is absolutely rude.
All right. The one that is grappling Mary.
Grappling. They're having a full-out makeout session.
You can say it's getting pretty serious.
Mary, you take 18 points of necrotic damage.
Oh, Jesus.
And actually, I need you to make a con save. You might not take 18. What did you get? I don't think I've got all 20
I
open.
got a 6. I failed it horribly.
Okay, so you take 18 points of damage. It's necrotic. And you have disadvantage on strength checks to break free of the grapple.
Now if I go into a rage, then I'll just neutralize.
Yep. All right, so that's the one with you. Boy, you are still grappled, is that correct?
I am, but I'm not. I have moved back, and I'm not under the water yet. I have not had a makeout session as of yet.
Okay. She is going to pull you 15 feet straight towards herself. And can you make a charisma check? Save, please.
Yeah. Is it save?
Save, yes.
15.
Okay, you're good. So she goes to kiss you, but she instead kisses your cheek. So you're not affected by whatever it would be. And then finally, the one that Argris just chopped her hair off. He's going to throw out her hair again. Firstly, to try and grapple you. Don't think that will hit.
It's an opposed grapple, or is it?
No, it's an attack. It's a 11, so I don't think that will hit you. And then she'll make 2 tentacle attacks. Firstly, I've got a 13, and secondly, I've got a 14. Do either of those hit?
I don't have full armor, do I? I don't think I do.
Unless you slept in it.
I did not sleep in it, no. That's unrealistic. So yeah, they should... Yeah, they should both hit.
Okay.
All of them.
Everything, even the 11?
Yeah. My dexterity is 0.
Still make it 12.
Boy.
It's still 12 is base though.
No, it isn't.
Oh,
10 is
10
base.
10 is
10
base.
I'm like, I think 12 might be based in Pathfinder, but yeah.
Okay, so we'll do the hair first. The hair does 4 slashing damage, and you are grappled, obviously. and her tentacles. The first one does 7, and the second one does 7.
So 18.
Yep, and she's paddle. Yeah, she's paddle
Correct.
boating with her tentacles. Tina. Sorry, not Tina. Mary.
Wow. Ra's mad. So mad. She's going to totally go into rage. She's going to bash this. Oh, yeah. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Being kissed
She's
against
got
her
it.
will and drowned, and now she's hurting. And my goodness, she's probably adding to the crimson tone of this lake now. Let's see. So let's go and just use an athletics check to hopefully do some actual damage. Hey, 24.
All right, so you escape from the hair.
And she is going to stand up and take a big breath of air.
All right, you can do so. You can surface. Take a big deep breath.
Sputter. And if she has time to as well, she will see if she can locate wherever her great axe is. Hopefully kicked over the foot or something.
A great axe. Where would it be? Like, you can determine where it is.
Probably in the water, because the whole line of thought for me was that when the commotion happened, just being with the barbarians when I was like, quick, grab your stuff and like go see what's going on, and then wanders off into the water to help this woman, only to get kissed by her, and like just that moment of like whoa, like just brain forgets. Yep. Let go of axe and defend yourself or something. Like, we're not going to hurt her. And so now it's like, damn it, where'd my axe go? And it's probably in the water.
Make a perception check.
Okie dokie. Sean. Come on. Yeah, you want to do it again. And I rolled a 5, so she has no clue unless she's going to trip on it.
You cannot see it at the moment. So you're no longer grappled or underwater. Boy is next.
Okay, so what Boy's gonna do is that is she within 10 feet of her?
Yes.
All right, then we're gonna use loose to her advantage here. So I couldn't be disarmed from it even if I wanted to be. Yeah, she pulls loose off her back and just swings madly towards her face. So attempting to cut the hair, but she wants to cut the hair very close to where her face is.
Okay, so the strand that's holding you, right? But close to her face?
Yeah. With the thought in her mind is if she cuts it near where her head is, she may not be able to attack her with it again. You know what I mean?
Sure thing.
That's her thought. I'm not saying that's going to work as in mechanically, but that's her thought process. So we're going to do that.
Sure.
Here we go. Yes, that's an 11.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm certainly.
So you tell me, what happens? Because you're not going to even hit her hair.
Yeah. She, is being drug in. She's disoriented in the fact that why is this woman's hair able to attack me? I've never been attacked by somebody's hair. It's always been the human. What the hell's going on here? You know what I mean? And she is going to, with her polearm, glaive, not polearm, still in her hand, grab onto the hair again and start to pull backwards as she did before. But she's very confused of how hair is able to grapple her. The person isn't even touching her. You gotta remember, she's only really fought in an arena before. She's never had to deal with something this magical or something that's interesting. So yeah, that's gonna be what it is. Do you mind if I try to do a strength check to back up again?
You may, yes.
That's even worse.
Okay.
Thank you, Roll20.
We appreciate it. Not.
Yeah.
All right. Ogris.
Oh, yeah, I hate these. He'll breathe within himself. Remember the knight's prayers. Remember the calmness of Nephthys. Remember as he was bathing in these very waters before, how calm and gentle they were. Feeling a relief he felt, even better than sleep. As if Morgan herself was wrapping her hair around him. Make me ready for war. I'm going to use second wind.
All right.
It's 9 plus 3 because of my level.
Yep.
So that's 12.
Very good.
Nice.
Next, he will dive first at opponent. Bakea on the left. First, he's attacking with his right hand now, Helbarua.
All right.
And he's attacking her directly.
Okay.
That's an at 20.
Oh, that's a critical. So we're doing max damage plus your roll.
Oh, max damage plus the roll? Okay. That'd be 15. Actually, no. Plus 2. 17.
17 points of damage.
Correct.
Very nice. So you cut with your scimitar this big gashing wound straight down her chest, and you can see that she's bleeding, but is still awake and active.
Use my bonus action. Well, I didn't. I just already used my bonus action. So I'm going to use Action Surge.
Did you use your bonus action? Oh, yes, because of... Yeah.
Yep. One more time. This time, we'll whip around again. Bring Helbarua up, the saber. The handle of a scimitar grafted on. Slice open. 19, which is also crit for me.
Yes. So, again, max damage plus roll.
Being a champion is useful sometimes. That would be 16.
16. Okay. I'm guessing you strike at the same place. The gash opens even further as you strike once more, just like peeling her skin away. And you can see her innards at this point starting to bleed out of her. She coughs up blood, doubles over, and continues to cough. She is extremely close to death.
I'll take my bonus action. At this point, he'll, because she leaned over to cough, right?
Yes.
Take his only slightly longer legs than a normal Dwarshan. Try to put his foot onto her. Take Bakea, which means peace in the Dwarshan tongue. Bring it close to her neck. You'll find what I am looking for. I make an attack.
All right.
18, which is not a crit, unfortunately.
That's
But
fine.
18 plus.
Yep.
Or just 22.
Yeah, you hit.
Okay. That is 4 damage.
Sure. Okay. As you strike her for this last time and finish her off, you can describe it in a moment. Actually, you can describe it now, and then I've got something to describe back at you. So how do you finish her off?
As he's bringing peace across her neck, as if he was about to start a meditation before Nephthys, bringing his hand across his chest. Nephthys, of course, being the goddess of depth. Barkea, meaning peace, bringing her the peace of non-existence back across her. And the blood, which I'm assuming is probably dark in the shade of the sun, it's as if death itself is crawling out of her, and he attempts to behead her. Doesn't quite do it, but meets it halfway. He pushes her neck, and you can hear the cracking. He puts it down as he whispers a prayer and says, I wish never to know your story, that the horrors that you have committed, what you have experienced, would not turn others into monsters like you.
Very well. She passes, and as she does, you suddenly feel a burning sensation all over your skin.
Oh no. Her body fluids are all over me, isn't it? Right? That's what I...
1 second. You take seven points of acid damage.
I need my armor, man.
What you realize in retrospect is that with every blow that you hit, a small amount of acid leaked out of her. And so technically this was, in game terms, 3 lots of damage, 1 for each hit that you took. But it sort of all, I delayed it till the end. But yeah, so you've taken that amount of acid damage. And yeah, this burning sensation all over your skin. And then, and it's a purple, right? Like you look down into the water and you see this purple, just like surface, almost like something, like an object is surfacing. And then it just gently eases out and it's waves once more. That is your turn. Well done.
Yep, that's everything. That's all I can do.
Inti, it is your turn. You've just seen this.
Oh, hey, can you just not in the face? So I take one for the team. And of course my character kind of like, he gets hit, but he instead of just crying out, he cries out, ugh, and then he laughs. And he dances and stumbles away. And as he does this, he starts becoming transparent. And then it starts creeping up from his feet and his hands, and it starts creeping up to his body, all the way up until about it stops at his face. And he looks at her, is like, you can take advantage of us, but you have just awoken the bear's nest. And then as that, the last part, he becomes invisible. I cast invisibility on myself. And I start screaming, we're under attack! We're under attack! The village is under attack by the water! We're under attack! And I just start trying to alert everybody. I grab torches and starting to ring bells and just do whatever I can to get people's attention.
Excellent. I was waiting for someone to do that.
I mean, we are literally, all the tribe's best people are together right now. We may be fucked up drunk, but that just means just gonna fight harder. Don't pick on us, bro. You just fucked up, buds.
All right, so it's their turn. Now, you weren't grappled, were you, Tina? I didn't write it down.
No, I think I was just smacked by a tentacle. I think it was just hitting me around.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
She only got hit by a tentacle. She wasn't grappled.
I died.
So, and then you've run off.
Alerting
Okay.
people.
How far would you have gotten?
I can travel 30 feet in the round, but I mean, it's up to you.
Okay.
How far? I mean, I'm yelling. I'm not just But I'm just raising an alarm. I'm trying to get, we're under attack. We are literally under attack right now. So I'm trying to get
And
people
you're
out.
invisible.
Yeah, and I'm invisible. So.
Okay, sure. So, Mary, the one that was engaged with you will surface alongside you. And tries to wrap her hair around you. For starters. 13? No? Okay. And 2 tentacle attacks. Oh, that one will hit. And that one will not. So the 1 tentacle attack that does hit does... it would do 6, but you're raging right now. So it does 3. Okay. Boy, you are still grappled, correct? Okay.
Where I am.
Okay. You didn't manage to pull her away. She's going to kiss you. Please make a charisma save.
10.
Okay.
Fuck you!
You lose 2 points of strength.
2 points of strength.
Yes.
Great. Wonderful.
Temporarily.
Great. Yeah, no, I got it.
Doesn't do any damage, just strength damage. Then the other one that was on Tina because Inti, because she's invisible. It will instead turn to Agris, who is nearby. And let's see. So we've now got that one. We got. So try to wrap her tentacles around you, Agris. That'll hit. So we do one of these. 7 points of damage, but instead of continuing to attack you with her tentacles, suddenly the visage that is a dwarf female starts to rise. Her head starts to get larger and larger, and her maw opens up and tries to swallow you. Or does swallow you. So you are swallowed if I manage to bite you. Let's see.
Well, I'm down to -1 hit points.
Are you? Okay.
Yep.
So you're swallowed. So you're inside the creature on -1 hit points. Oh. Everyone sees if you are above water. The mouth of this woman just, and she's now large. Basically, her mouth and the whole visage of her form has changed into like more like a squid than a dwarf, with this big open mouth, toothless but slavering. Then it's Tina's turn. Sorry, not Tina's turn. I keep on doing that. It's Mary's turn.
Okay. So, yep. Her lady friend tries wrapping her up in the hair, and she's like, nope, able to scramble out of that, and is getting ready to like punch her, but sees what's happened to Agris and like just pushes her aside, and she like rushes forward to like, oh no, you don't! You do not eat my friend, person that I've been selected among. And she will go over there and let's see. Yeah, she has bare hands right now, so well, she's gonna do what she can do and just rage at it with her fists.
Okay. For the purposes of this, there are other people around, and Inti has raised an alarm. So there are people like running around. There are people with weapons even. So if you choose...
As she's running by, sees someone like lift up an axe to hit something, and she just grabs it. Oh yeah.
It'll just be a hand axe. So it's a 1d6.
1d6. Okay. I'm just gonna.
But you do manage to get a weapon rather than an unarmed strike.
Hand axe to the rescue. Let's see. Roll 1d20 plus 5. For 15 to hit.
15 to hit will hit.
Awesome. Roll 1d6 plus 3. For 5 points of slashing.
5 points of slashing. Okay. Okay. So a little bit of meta. Okay. If you manage to, or if this creature gets too bloodied at any point, with a slashing weapon or a piercing weapon, you are able to extract Agris. Okay.
I think her train of thought also would be to like the neck of this creature or something, so that way she can reach in or try and gut it to reach in and pull out her friend.
It'll need to be half hit points or less for that to work. But
that's the idea that she has.
Okay, so you can see that you're starting to cut into it, but it's not enough yet. All right.
She'll try again next round.
Next round. Okay. Boy.
Alrighty. So, yeah, these are the things. I haven't done that. Okay, that happened, and then... So now she's smooching me.
She just managed to kiss you briefly, and you lost 2 points of strength. You're feeling very weak.
Okay, I'm just feeling weaker. Okay. I'm okay with that. What we're gonna do is that I'm going to she kissed me and I hung on to her.
Mm-hmm.
And as I hung on to her, I take loose, because I'm just gonna call it by its name. And I just take the glaive and just wrap it around her body, and then I rapidly unhug from her and take the glaive and just run it all the way around the back of her body, attacking her.
I'll give you
attempting to cut her in half, but I know I can't do that in one move.
I'm going to give you advantage.
But I'm making it like I'm accepting her embrace.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Go ahead.
That's just stylistically, of course. And of course, I can't do that because Roll20 fucking hates me.
With advantage?
With advantage, actually, it's a 4. It's a 1 and a 13 with advantage.
13.
1 and a 10. Yeah, 13.
A 13 will hit.
Oh, does it?
Hmm.
Oh, nice. That's for 10 slashing damage.
10 slashing damage. That's quite good.
Yeah, I'm going to use my action surge as well. So that's my bonus action.
Sure.
And then I'm going to... so I'm going to imagine that she's not holding on to me anymore. So as my bonus action of my action surge, I'm going to cast Expendious Retreat.
Delicious.
Yeah, whatever that fucking word is. Here, we'll even put that out there. I just cast that word, retreat, and so that I can do what I'm going to do after, and then I attack her again. This time it's from the front, and I just kind of good old slashing style, just take it, by the middle and just slash right across the front of her body. So now I've hit her on both sides, I hope.
Okay, no advantages.
But of course, I roll a natural 1 on both my attack and my damage die.
Okay, you drop your weapon.
Thank you.
But it's just not going to
go ahead.
matter.
Yeah.
But you drop it.
Right, because it would just come back to my hand.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. I mean, it may not immediately, but what I'm going to try to do here as well is that I can now use the dash action at the end of my turn because of Expedious Retreat.
Well, before you do that, as you slash at it and go to move away, you do feel that burning sensation. You take 3 acid damage, and then you can move.
Okay. As a reaction, because I have that left as well, I cast Absorb Elements. I've now cast all my spells for right now. And that is going to do... I forget what that spell does exactly. Okay. Yeah, but... I
You
resist
take half
the
damage.
Yeah.
And then you roll a d6 on your next melee attack, and you can apply however much that is to inner acid damage to the creature.
So is that just 1 then?
Mm-hmm.
So I only take 1 damage there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, and then, so as a dash action, I can move 30 feet. How do you want me to do that because she's grappling me?
I don't know how you're going to do that.
I figured I would try because it was a thing I could do.
If she's grappling you, you can roll a strength check to see if you can pull her along. That's about the best I can offer you at this stage.
Yeah, no problem at all.
It's opposed.
Let's try. It's opposed. Here to do that. Bam. Oh, and then I roll a natural 20, so that's 21.
Okay. You managed to pull her at your full speed.
So that means I should be on the land because you said I was only 20 feet in, so I'm 10 feet out of the water.
Sure.
Okay. And just as an incidental thing, I also reiterate the fact that we need to attack these women.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
We can get some of the peoples to help.
Need a
All
death
right,
save.
I'll be right back. I gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah, need a death save from Agris.
Just.
Oh no! Don't do that. Don't do that.
So that's 2 failures.
2 failures. Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh dear. You had to fall unconscious just when the thing went to swallow you. Yes, he is still inside it. Oh man. It's just funny. I didn't realize that he was so low, but it's just what the creature did, so yeah. Okay. So Inti, you can see what happened. You can see that the creature sort of transformed into a more squid-like thing with a slavering more, no sharp teeth or anything, just like, you know, imagine toothless, but just slavering. And you saw it swallow Argris, and you saw Regid run up to it and try and slash it to get him out, but unfortunately she didn't quite do enough damage. So what would you like to do?
Well, are people alerted? Are they coming around?
Oh yeah, there's people running down. So what I'll do
kind
is
of weapons
this,
are
right?
people running in with?
Well, all sorts of weapons, right? So how this mechanically works is, now that we're a full round after you alerted everyone, okay, everything that anyone does from now on is technically with aid, with help, okay? Because the rest of the Dwarshan are running to your aid, and so you all have advantage, but you have to choose what you get advantage on. So you get advantage on one thing of your choice from now on.
Awesome. Well, my character is going to... Did I see my new friend like take the hit for me and get gobbled down? Did I see that?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
I have
I
have more than an apology to give you, friendo. I'm gonna get you some donuts in the morning. I got you some ibuprofen.
He's gonna need more than donuts. But yeah.
Oh,
I got one save left.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my advantage right now, and my character's gonna turn around and have like a pang of like, oh, I fucked up. I'm gonna draw my dagger, the only weapon I have on me, and I'm gonna right at it. So hopefully slashing it. Like I'm gonna like throw it so it spins.
Okay. So you're gonna throw it.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it at the thing that ate him, because that was mean, and I feel really bad.
You can choose whether you want
Right now.
advantage on the attack or on the damage. It's totally your choice.
Yeah, no, my character, I'm taking the advantage right now. My character's like, stay out of my way, as he, at the dagger's the first thing that comes into view just before it gets thrown, and the rest of his body appears after it gets thrown. Let me roll my attack.
Raw ducks.
I don't know what I rolled yet. Woo! I got a 20 on with the advantage.
Okay. Like a natural.
It just says 20. It was
Okay. So not green. Okay.
Yeah, no, it was a 17.
So how much damage will you do?
It was 3 piercing damage.
3.
3.
Okay.
Thrice.
So not quite enough, but the dagger is solidly embedded. So that's good. So the creatures now. Unless you have anything else you want to do, Tina?
Wait, I believe I go last.
I'm surprised that it was.
Yeah,
that
so
I landed. So my
Tina's
character's
first is what's happening. So
Oh,
it was Jebbe's go, and that was last, and then it goes up to Tina, who's first, and then it goes to the creature, and then Mary, and then
my character, like he throws it like, get out of my way, and throws it, and it lands, and he's like, he doesn't look up his face of like, whoa, I just I hit him. Yeah. My character has like a moment because my character's not seeing too much fighting because she's not into that.
All right. So on the creature's turn, I've got the one that Mary ran away from. He's going to try and grapple Mary. Nope. And so it's going to come onto the land. Try 2 tentacle attacks. I've got a 15 and 17 against Mary.
Now that I'm not muted, I believe the 17 may hit and...
So the 15 doesn't?
It does. 17 hits.
Okay. Minimum damage 4, which
that
is
halved already?
reduced to 2. Because sometimes they suck. Sometimes they really suck. So that was the one on Mary. The one on Boy.
And sometimes they swallow people.
Will again kiss you because you're still grappled, right?
Yeah, she's got to make up 30 feet of distance, and then she can try to kiss me. Yeah, certainly. Oh, no. We traveled 30 feet together.
Yes,
so.
you did. So,
yeah.
So a charisma save, please.
Close it up. What was the number?
Charisma save of.
Oh,
you just tell me what you get.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought it was an attack thing. Sorry, but I got confused. It happens. I'm not even telling you the number this time. Fucking 12. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so you lose another
point.
4.
Another 4 points. Oh, Jesus.
Did you see the DM? Did you see his nasty little thing he just did there? His little like, oh, I know they did this much. I rode so bad tonight. I never could kill them.
It is all in my great plan. The one that's swallowed Chepe is going to attack Regeared.
God.
One of those hits for, again, 2 points of damage in total. And then the witch doctor appears from amongst the crowd. He shouts for everyone to move in his hissy kind of voice. He grabs hold of the staff that has all sorts of feathers and attachments and flings it out with his hand and points it towards the creature. And the gash that Regeared made and that the dagger stuck into just rips open. And Argris tumbles out.
Do I at least have to make my last death save?
Absolutely you do. But it's not your turn yet.
Oh.
So that's the Magandar. That's the creature's turn. So it's Regeared's turn.
Regeared will lift up her companion and start hauling ass back to the shore, hopefully tripping over her great axe in the process so she knows where to go get it.
Are you disengaging?
For the sake of her friend's safety, yes.
All right. So you lift him up and disengage and get out? All right, sure. You can do that.
Oh.
So that's your turn.
Cool. Yeah.
Um,
And if I can, on the way back, do a perception check of, oh, there it is. There's a great axe.
Yeah. Now that you're out of the water,
She got a 9 to spot it, so she'll have
9?
to try again.
okay.
She's more focused on making sure that Argos isn't going to die. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
she'll
So-
carefully come down.
So, boy, you see Argris come tumbling out. Splat on the ground. There's like acid all over him. Digestive acid.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yes. Yes, it is.
All right, so we're gonna do two things here. I'm going to use the D6 right now that I'm just gonna roll from absorb elements, and then I'm gonna cast sword burst because it's guaranteed damage. So let's just do this. I think it's the best answer. You know what I mean? Everything else has been pretty crappy for me, so I'm gonna give it something that gives guaranteed damage.
Okay.
So here's the absorb elements. I'll cast that from the spell. That's 4 damage triggered. And then from the cantrip of sword burst, that's going to be that's a 6. Oh no, it has to make a DC 12 dexterity save throw.
It makes it.
Yeah. So nothing happens, but it takes 4 damage.
Takes 4 damage. The one that you're on, this is?
Well, that's the only right. That's the one that's on me.
Yeah. Sure. Takes 4 damage. Anything else?
And then I'm gonna what? And then I dash 30 feet.
Okay.
Hey, I don't know. My thought process is maybe because it's a water thing. If I get it really far from the water, it's not gonna like that.
Argris, don't fail.
Yeah, don't fail. Don't be a quitter.
That's not a fail. Excellent.
Well, I still have to make 2 more successes.
Yes, you do. But you've got 1.
I have got 1, damn it. I've got
All right.
1.
Inti.
Hopefully you don't have to make any more. Inti will have seen this, seeing Argus being pulled fall out of the thing after the shot. We go, explosions. Guy falls out. Barbarian woman picks him up and carries him more into short. Do they run towards me?
Sure.
I'm gonna stop them. I'm like, stop, please stop. Like to motion to put him on the ground.
It's
I can
already
feel
been
him.
done.
Okay. All right. As he's laying on the ground, Inti straddles him, and but the thing is, like, look at her face. Her face becomes very sad, very sad suddenly. You can see like the guilt has really started to, and she's pulling at that feeling of sadness, and then she begins to cry. She begins to sniffle, and tears begin to drip out of her eyes and fall onto him. And I cast Cure Wounds by crying on him.
That was a beautiful way to cast that. There, man.
And she's like, please, it's not your time. Wake up, wake up, wake up. And she just keeps crying hard. Please. It's all my fault, please.
As you wake up, Argris, what this feels like, in addition to you blinking and seeing this man-woman thing above you, in addition to that, it feels like salt in the wound. Her tears combined with the acid, it feels like salt in the wound. But You are healed. How much does it heal you for?
4 hit point is healed.
4 hit points.
Better than dead.
Better than dead.
You can have inspiration, Tina, for that.
I almost started crying, but I was like, yeah, it's a little bit much.
And it's the creature's turns. The one whose gut just got tore open will breathe in, and everyone needs to make a dex save, please.
I feel like I would fail it. I mean, I'm waking up from a coma and I'm being straddled by a hermaphrodite, so I'm kind of
If you
I'm a
would
little bit
like,
busy
you can
right
roll
now.
it with disadvantage, but I'm not going to enforce that. It's totally up to you.
Okay. I rolled
Well, I think I
16
critted.
and a 19.
I think I
You
critted,
succeed.
though. I critted though, so I think I could also help too.
Okay, so the
Oh, I
others.
rolled a 19.
Oh,
I
it's
rolled a 19.
just immediate vicinity.
Okay.
So if did Boy run up to here as well? Did he? Did she?
No, Boy is running away from the water, so
Okay.
back toward he was like camping. You know what I mean? Like away.
Okay. So if you're not with them, then you don't have to make the save. But whoever's in the immediate vicinity, which is the other 3. So
I got
anything above 13 saves. So did anyone fail?
nope.
No one failed? All right. So acid just spews out of the thing's gash, and it dies, but just like acid goes, spreads out. People start running in the opposite directions because this acid's there, but it doesn't, none of you get caught in it. But there is acid on the ground, so it becomes difficult terrain. And then we've got the one that was on. So hang on. So that one died. So I have to keep track of this. Okay, the one that was on Mary tries to grapple Inti. No. Then comes out of the water, if it hadn't already, gets a 14 and a 19 to hit Inti with the tentacles. So Inti, does a 14 hit you? Because the 19 definitely will. Inti, does 14 hit you?
I have a 12 armor, so yes.
Okay, you take a total of 14 damage.
Y'all are a bitch. Let me look. Does that kill me?
I don't know, does it?
I'm looking, okay. How many hit points do I? How many did you do me for?
Total of 14?
Oh, I am -2. I am so on the ground, taking a dirt nap. I'm like gurgling
So-
blood.
Tentacles just writhe about, just slapping her one after the other until she's on the ground.
Oh, I shriek. I just cry out like, ah!
The
What
one
a
that is
rover.
grappling.
Her arm gets broken. Her head gets cracked to the side. She hits the ground, eyes lifeless.
Okay.
You still have saving throws in this game.
Just rage quit. The one grappling boy will dive under the water. I need you to make a strength saving throw, please.
Dive into the water from 40 feet away?
Well, she's going to try. She's going to try.
Okay.
She's going to try and run and dive back.
I can't make a strength saving throw. I got an 8 right now. I rolled a 19.
That's the whole point. Okay, so
I rolled
you
a 19
succeed.
though. I don't even know how I did that.
So she doesn't go anywhere. She doesn't go anywhere. So that's all good. Now,
Oh my God.
Now it's Agris's turn.
At this point, the sequence of events that I'm imagining, right? He was being straddled. He tasted tears. He woke up and he sees the face of a man switching to the face of a woman, or at least somewhere in between. He looks at the Suji, and then acid goes everywhere. And out of quick reaction, they both sprawl, tumbling over out of the way. She's on top of him at this point, and while she's taking the blows of the tentacles, he dips her back down, pushes her out of the way, tries to get between the tentacles and her.
Okay.
And it's within 30 feet, if I'm not mistaken. Creature?
Sure. Yeah.
Full movement. Head first. I'm attacking it at this point.
Okay.
Actually, no. That's not what I'm going to do. That's dumb. What I'm going to do is stand over. So I will use my movement, try to push her and her body away about 10 feet. I'll move another 10 feet forward because dragging's half. And I'll take the dodge action. He'll put in a defensive maneuver. So he'll put himself like this. His dagger on the right hand now and his left hand forward. Waiting to parry. I'll take the dodge action. That's what he's going to do. So he dragged your body away about 10 feet away and then moved in between you and the tentacles and then took a defensive stance.
Inti, I need a death save. Wow, first combat, man. This is... Whew.
This is wonderful. I've lost 6 points of strength. 6 freaking points.
Oh, he'll also shout out, "Grab spears! For the love of everything, use spears against the damn thing!"
It's just a D20, right?
Yeah, no modifier.
A 10.
A 10? 10 is a pass.
I gasp and twitch.
So that's one success. You need 2 more to be stable. Cool. So, Mary?
Okie dokie. So it goes through and whatnot, hearing the yell for spears. Oh. Quickly look around, and she also have reverted out of her rage because she did not attack last turn. And so just kind of catching her breath and just clarity, kind of like, spirits. Yeah, spirits. I can throw. And so she'll look around and maybe she sees like a few javelin like sticks, but she has javelins, but not spears. She will throw one. I think. Let's try that again. And she throws a 9, so it goes a little wide, but let's see. She'll also go and try seeing that Inti had fallen down, another one of the people she's supposed to be with. And having watched her heal across, she'll certainly try to step over to try and pose herself as a target over her.
Okay. Cool. Boy.
I really don't even know what to do here. My strength. Oh, strength is so low right now. I don't even know what to do. As trying to misdirect, I know it's not going to do anything, but I'm going to start running back towards the pond now.
All right.
So, yeah. She wants to hold on to me. I'm just going to keep running. And during the run, I'm going to try to attack her again with loose. So, here we go.
All right.
Yeah, it's like I'm just screwed. I can hopefully get back towards where there's people now. Help me.
Yeah, there's people everywhere, and they are helping. So you get help for your attack.
Oh, that's right. I do get the help action. You said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that gives me advantage on my roll here.
Yeah, if you want.
So it's an 18.
Sure.
And for 5 slashing damage.
5? All right.
Yeah.
So it's bloodied.
Okay. Does it let go of me?
No.
Okay. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Argus, at the start of your turn, because it's been around, a whole bunch of people are grabbing spears and are starting to throw things at these creatures.
Don't throw them!
Don't throw them? Okay.
He's going to spend his turn telling them how to have a fucking formation.
Okay. Roleplay it. Tell me what formation you instruct them.
Okay, first, how many are there down there by the river? Because there are some women gathering around. I'm assuming some of them were warriors. And how many people with spears are on their way? Does it look sizable, small, big, medium, whatever?
Okay, you may roll a d12.
Roll a d12. That's how many, I'm assuming.
Yes.
1.
1. 1 is ready and willing to follow your directions at this stage. You think more will follow, but at this stage, 1. So what do you how are you directing them?
Run down there. You! Run down there by the others. Grab some spears. Get to the forward end of the lake. Gather around in a line in formation. Make sure you're at least 10 feet away from the water. Edge toward the end. They'll try to rip into you. Make sure every man left and right of their flank stabs into the thing beside. Guard the feet of the person next to you with your lives. Only throw spears if you have extra. When they get close, grab daggers and slice off its hair.
Okay. What I would like you to do, please, is roll me 1 each of the lower dice than the 12. So I need a d10, a d8, a d6, and a d4, please. And read them highest die downwards.
Okay. The highest die. So that's a 5, then an 8.
Okay. One second. So 5, 8.
1, 2.
Okay. So what happens is actually, can you make me a performance or persuasion or some sort of charisma check for me?
Sure. I believe he's got persuasion. He does.
All right.
That would be, is that a 9 or 6? That's 6. Okay, 9.
Okay. So as you instruct this man or woman, whatever it is, man, he does what you ask, he grabs spears and he runs. And as he's running, he shouts out, and another 5 people join in. And then those 5 people start shouting out, and another 8 people join in. And then those 8 people shout out, and only one more person joins in. That one person sort of grabs another 2. And so they all gather around. And so in total, we have 17 people who are going to come along, but it won't happen until the start of your next round, because of your lower check. But they're all starting to get involved with what you asked. I'm going to consider that your action, if that's okay.
That's fine. I will move
As you
away.
sort of direct them and.
Move away 10 feet and stand right next to Inti.
All right. And it's Inti's turn. She can make another death save, please.
I got 12.
Excellent. That's another success. So that's 2
She
successes.
gasps and twitches again.
Yes, she does. And the creatures, seeing the ranks start to organize and all of this, they see you trying to command these men, and you've run away, so they can't reach you. So they let go of Boy, and they're both going to break for the water. So anyone that's in melee gets an attack of opportunity.
That's still at
Does
advantage.
fists count?
Is it still at advantage? Not for this.
Okay, so then no. I got a whopping 2. No.
Huh.
I got less than that.
He did
Right,
better than
bad.
Regeared.
Did
Yeah.
Brigade get a natural 1?
You rolled a 1 and I rolled a 4. Yay!
Brigade, you throw your weapon into the water.
Number 2.
Gotta go swimming here in a few minutes, girl.
It's the middle of the
Okay.
night. She's still honestly just groggy.
So they're making a run for it. So Regeared, we've got one more round before they manage to get away. So Regeared, this is your round. What are you gonna do?
Awesome. And she's going to totally, like, with the people one, she's not used to her advantage yet, and she'll totally see someone with like a spear and just be like, we're going to work together. We're going to aim this and whatnot. Like, hands to me, okay. And I don't know, but like with them there, and she's able to, I don't know, just have just this clarity for a moment to really see where it is headed. And so they'll make an attack to one of the fleeing creatures. 20. That's 5. And then she rolls an 18.
Okay, you hit.
Spirit is a 1d8, if I'm correct. Yes?
Sounds right. I don't remember offhand, but yeah.
No javelin. I rolled a 4. Yay! So, 4 points of piercing headed their way.
4. Okay. Sure thing. Excellent.
You get all over into.
Lovely. So that's Regeared. Boy.
Yeah, she's gonna dash right at the one that's trying to escape from me,
Yep.
and we'll go ahead and let loose, see if it can do its thing.
Okay.
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, it's pretty rough when you lost 6 points of strength. So
I know.
is what it
It's
is.
just what they do. Yeah, it is. All right.
Not
Agris.
dead. That's even better. Oh God. Painful.
So all these people with spears are about to let loose. What do you do?
Fire!
They're running behind you. Form around them.
Okay.
He'll start.
So
He'll start and he'll get ready to grab daggers to hand to each of them because there's 17, which is more than enough to handle too. Each man gondor and flank. Do not let your brother or sister next to you be grabbed.
all right. Make me another charisma check of some description, persuasion, performance. Probably performance. Actually, you're trying to.
12.
Pretty good. All right. Do you take any actions yourself?
He's moving, grabbing daggers or any daggers he can around him.
Okay.
You're
Just helping him out.
Yep. I'm going to try to see
All
if I can aim him all a dagger from there, from behind.
Okay. Let's see if Inti makes a save, and then I'll loose the spears.
Come on.
17.
Nice.
Cool. So
Okay,
what I'm going to
yeah.
do
And
is, what I'm going to do, right, is break the rules very, very slightly. You open your eyes, Inti, okay? You're gasping for breath. And what you see with this few seconds of life is this line of Dwarshan just brandishing spears and daggers that are being handed out by Agris. And then one by one, they just 17 just lay into these creatures and easily dismantle them. And you see the acid boil out at the end, like with their dying breaths. All of these people are screaming in pain because, when they hit the creatures, they get hit with acid, but the creatures themselves are dying and you lapse back into unconsciousness, but you are stable.
yay, he's alive still. Okay, I guess the first thing she thinks is like, oh, he's alive still. He's alive. Woohoo! She's like,
And
overwhelming. Yes, thank you. And one little tear. Boop, as she bops.
I need everyone, please, who is close by to make me another deck save.
Okay. Or at
And
least
this will be the end of the combat.
Schnikey. That's a 6.
Okay.
I didn't make it, but Corey definitely didn't make it.
Okay.
Oh my
One.
Lord.
So each of you roll 2d6, and that's how much acid damage you take. And
I
that
dropped down to 0 again.
and that ends the combat. You can effectively be stable.
Okay. Somebody resuscitates me. So as the acid pours over, one time there was still like a strain of brown left on his hair. All of that now is bleached white because of the acid. The entire bit of his skin has been boiled over. So it's just, it's reddened, blackened. There's probably pus-filled boils over his arms. And the scars, which are already all across his neck and chest, because the acid has burned through some of his clothes at this point, not only appear, but now there's burn marks all along the side, his right side to go with it.
Right on.
His white dreads.
And effectively, you can all be awake. albeit quite hurt, weak. As these creatures are finally gone, and you manage to see that most of the Dwarshan managed to survive. A couple died. But with your efforts, rousing the populace and getting other people involved, you've managed to save a good number of them. Else probably the whole clan might have died. You don't know, but because of your efforts, you held off against these strange creatures, and as they perish again, you see that the purple glow starts to brighten and change into blue, and the darkness slowly just starts to overtake it. The red that was in the center of the pond becomes dark and washes away until it is black once more. And as you turn and tend to your wounds, you see the first sign of the sunrise. It is still some way away from full realization, but that first little glimmer of light you can see on the horizon. As this scene plays out, you hear someone shouting, a man's voice, and immediately those that have been around the chief for longer than a night, which would be Argris and Regeared, you two would recognize it as the chief immediately. The others can roll to see. It'd be just intelligence. Just roll above a 10 and you'll recognize the voice immediately as him. It's just, might be a little bit hazy from last night, but 10 or above on an intelligence check and you'll know that it's the chief.
Yeah, she remembers the voice.
And he is yelling, which is completely out of character for him. You can't hear exactly what he's saying, but something is wrong. Who goes to investigate?
Rod would immediately head on over, looking to the other side. We need to go.
Yeah, I would be running towards towards Idris and Inti, because they're both the ones that are on the ground. And she'd be very concerned for her new friends, and then that's when she'd hear the chief's voice, and if they go, she would just follow, but she wouldn't make the initiative to go.
Sure. All right, so anyone that does go to investigate, this is what you find. Find Batira Aldeotsi, the ex-wife of the chieftain, the Grand Chief Mezu Barazagi, is standing before the chief. You can see that she's basically just thrown a shawl over herself, as she was completely naked, but she is modest now with a shawl on her, and Mezu is dressing her down. He is just laying into her with yelling at the top of his lungs, completely uncharacteristically for him. He is usually not very hot-headed, but right now he is. He's just going off his tree, and he's just like, "How dare you do this to me? It's all your fault." And he walks up to her and he rips the shawl off her, just completely rips her. She's totally naked. And he says, I strip you of your power, I strip you of your rank, and I exile you from the tribe. As far as you remember, no one has been exiled from the tribe in your memory.
I was like,
Any of your memories.
yeah, Ra would be pretty shocked, just especially in the, like, I know for her, she's been kind of taboo with the group, and so it's like, wow, I didn't get exiled. She really messed up.
You don't really know anything about it. Like, it's weird, strange. She looks at him, and there's fire in her eyes, and she just spits on the ground, and she walks away. She storms off and starts to head down the mountain.
Okay. Is there like any guilt in her eyes? Did I see any glint of like, oh, I fucked up, or oh, I got caught?
That would be a check.
I'll do it then.
Insight.
You got it. Fucking inside the fuck out of that. Bitch ass.
And anyone else that wants to make an insight check can.
Well, 23.
You do it.
Narrows eyes.
Okay. So, Inti. She is angry. She is super angry and she is super hurt. Like, almost in physical pain from her emotions. You can see this look of treachery, betrayal. Something has happened. You can see this admiration in her eyes for him, but you can also see this burning hatred. What you get from this with your 23, and looking at the situation, looking at him, he's disheveled, whatever, and his new wife is just off, just like folded hands, not even looking at him. You think that his ex-wife must have maybe come in and seduced him or something, and she still has love for him. You can see that clearly, but you think, just putting the pieces together because you can, that he was drunk.
That he's drunk right now doing this?
He was during the night. So the act with her was not while he was sober.
Shit. So she seduced him when he was drunk.
And the new wife is obviously like, you slept with her and blah, 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 doing that thing. But you're the only one that really sees most of that, unless anyone.
So he's exiling his ex-wife or his new wife?
His ex-wife, because she was the one that came into his bed and he didn't know, and he basically must have woken up. This is what you're putting together. He must have woken up with her in his bed, and this is his reaction.
What's his bit? Is he drunk right now?
Not anymore.
Isn't being exiled like, is that something like, I'm just asking out of character, but isn't it something that you usually like vote on, like a council or something? Like, doesn't it take
he absolutely has the power to do it.
Oh, okay. Fuck.
But it hasn't happened in your generation, in your lifetime.
I'm gonna bolt up to him. I'm gonna but I'm not gonna be like, woo. I'm gonna like try to be as discreet as possible.
What guise are you in? You don't have very long to react, by the way. You don't have time to. Are you still in this man at this stage?
Yeah, I'm still dressed as the androgynous manly figure, I guess. But yeah, okay, I run up.
So you run up to him.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I bow. I'm like, my lord, may I make a suggestion?
No, you may not. And he pushes you aside, and he just walks up to his wife, like in a huff. He says, "This was not my fault." And then his voice gradually will die down, and those two are now just like trying to work it out.
What's his wife doing? Like, I immediately look at wifey now. What's her emotion? What's she doing?
Steely ice.
Is shit like a hurt? Like, this sucks?
Like, you know, you just broke our vow
Yeah, with your ex-wife.
with your ex.
You fucked up. Okay, well,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
gonna sort. She's gonna make him work that one out. He's gonna get exiled. He's gonna be laying in the doggy house for a while.
Mhm.
No seconds for you. I will slowly meander back to the group.
Okay. Anyone else want to do something?
What does exiled mean?
It means she is no longer a part of
Never-
this clan.
Yeah, she's never heard that word before.
If I can hear that.
Um,
I will reply.
So why didn't they just execute her? That's
This
what
is
they would have done where I come from.
This is considered a more personal punishment.
Oh. Oh, okay.
She just nods.
Should we feel sorry for her?
You can. She's gonna have a hard time living out there on her own, especially if she doesn't have literally anything. Which, by the way, I should. My character goes and runs to get my dagger, and then I'm gonna try to catch up to the ex-wife and at least give her a dagger.
Okay, you can. You go right after her.
Yeah, my
Oh,
next
she does
question was
that.
going to be, should we help her? But
Immediately,
Yeah,
a couple of
Agris, should we help her?
okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I can cast a spell to make it easier if you want me to.
Well, 1 second. Let's see what Agris says.
Yeah, Agris, should we help her?
Um,
I just don't understand this. I'm sorry.
Argris kind of stumbles behind it. What are you talking about?
Well, if it's gonna be hard for her, shouldn't we try and help her? We are the champions.
Help who?
Said.
We're champions for different reasons.
Nargis wasn't here the
Oh.
entire time. He was stumbling about, basically leaning up against a wall, healing from his injuries. Because at this point, he's been burnt almost from head to toe. The cure wounds is
Absolutely.
mended a lot of the stuff, but he's heavily scarred.
Yeah, I mean, she's just trying to have a little bit of compassion. I mean, she's always been a very compassionate girl. She's, very vicious in the ring, but outside of the ring, she's very much a puppy dog. So,
What are we needing to help?
You'll be able to get a quick summary of what happened, albeit that boy doesn't really understand why. She can say the words. She's been exiled.
Right. She's been exiled, and I don't really know what that means. Does that mean that she never comes back?
Yes. It also means you shouldn't be talking to her. Unless
Well, maybe
she's on
we could-
exile.
Okay. And she just looks there, and she looks very sad. That something like this happened. Where she comes from, that person would have been executed publicly for that type of crime, and she doesn't understand why that isn't happening right now.
Okay. What does Rigid think about all this?
Oh, for her, there's a little bit of just the what the said, and so she's whatever the reasons, because she didn't do an insight check, so unless NT like mentioned all those things, she's like she has faith that it's like there's a reason for it. She may not know what it is. She's not going to get involved in it because she's already kind of in a tight situation where it's like, I don't want to draw any more attention to myself. So it's like whatever has happened to her, like that's her own doing. And it's like, yeah, not going to get involved with that.
Okay. All right. So I want to wrap this up. So with what just happened, let's talk about your next courses of action. So I'm going to go to Agris. What is your next course of action after hearing that this woman's been exiled? And you know you're in pain, but you're alive. Amazingly.
Yeah. At this point, he'll be first. He's going to try to encourage people to stand watch by the lake with pikes, as in with some kind of pole arm with a spear, something to keep at a distance toward the water, and stand watch for about 14 days before ever anything coming back. We would also like to talk with the shaman just to tell him that, like, I've seen creatures before, basically. They come out of people whenever they've done something horrible or something horrible happened to them. He's going to ask the shaman if he finds anything interesting in that. He should be looking for it. And
Okay.
those are the main courses of action. Like, he's dealing with the immediate situation at hand first.
All right. So during the time between now and then, I'll send you the shaman's response to you. But he'll give you some more information. He's well aware of what creatures are, so he'll give you what he thinks has happened and that sort of thing. All right. So that's good. So you'll talk to him. Inti.
Okay, Inti will once again turn, and as they begin running, they become invisible. The same way, hands, ankles, whoop, invisible. Picks up the dagger, and then runs out tries to catch up with the ex-wife.
Okay.
Can I have a little bit of a little role play, a tiny one with her? Or do you want to do that later? It's up to you. Like, I'm going to run out there, talk to her, drop the dagger, and run back. That's, in summary, what I'm going to do.
Are you going to stay invisible?
Yes, the entire time.
Okay, so let us know.
If it's possible.
Tell us what you say, I guess.
She's going to ask, in a very feminine voice, was it worth it?
The response that you get is, you know nothing of this.
She would just giggle and drop the dagger and prance back. We'll need your help later, she'll say just before she leaves. Keep us in mind. And she drops the dagger and she runs away.
Okay. Sure.
I've got friends on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, boy, what are you doing?
Confused. The weakest she's ever felt in her life since she was a child. And just unaware of the creatures she just came in contact with. She exiles herself away from the situation again. She would go back to where she was had camped herself out before, or outside of where the the regular huts and everything are. She huddles herself all together with all of the things she owns, and she falls asleep for the evening, or for the, she exiles herself and talks to the only person that talks to her, and she talks to Luce.
Okay.
Now, we don't have to do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But expressing I don't understand your people. I don't understand why they did what they did with that woman, so on and so forth. And if you really are that bonded to me, I need some answers. And if that's something you'd like to answer next time, that is fine.
Sure. All right. And
But yeah, she was very confused.
Okay. All right. So finally, we've got Regard.
Weird.
She's going back to the lake with a handful of other people to kind of watch her back, and she's going to go get her weapon back.
All right, you can do that.
Yep. And she'll then, if nothing else is needed of her, she just looking like crap herself. Finally go back and try to rest up. Probably make sure that her friend is also okay wherever he had disappeared off in the midst of all this craziness. And if he's battered too, she'll probably help try and clean up wounds and whatnot. And both of them just like, oh, here's hoping we can at least get a few extra hours before we need to get up and do whatever duties around camp that is needed of us amongst our tribe people.
Okay. And with that, that will bring us to the end of this session of Whispers of the Ancestors. Thank you, each and every one of you for... Yes. Thank you, each and every one of you, for playing. Thank you to Chepe. Thank you to Tina. Thank you to Corey. And thank you to Mary for playing your characters. It's been pretty tough. So you've done well. And we're going to be back in a couple of weeks' time to see what's next for these champions. See if they can discover what's going on and start working towards some sort of solution. But in the meantime, thank you again, and we'll have a bit of a debrief once I go up live. Bye for now.
Hello.
Bye, guys.